Check, check, check. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to an all-new episode of TAETRO Talks. I hope you're all well. I say good afternoon, but good morning, good evening, depending on where you are at in the world. Let me know where you are at in the world and if this is your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it may be. Thank you for tuning in today. If you don't know, TAETRO Talks is a part of 343 TV. It's a weekly show, but we also have shows every day other than TAETRO Talks. You know, shows about Ableton, more tutorial-based shows with really amazing instructors. And Thursdays are kind of our break. They are our chance to, chat and talk. And sometimes we do interviews. Like last week, we had Sarah the Instrumentalist. We had Heinz Bieger. We've had a couple of Grammy Award-winning, Grammy-nominated producers on. And today is a unique kind of show because we've done this once before, but today is a call-in show. So you can actually call in on Zoom. So if you have Zoom, you can either use the app on your phone, iPad, tablet, computer, whatever it may be. You can use the app. You can dial in using the number that I put in the chat. I'm about to put it in one more time here. I'll probably put it in throughout the stream. I'm putting that in on my channel, TAETRO, youtube.com/TAETRO, and also we're streaming, like I said, on 343 Labs channel for 343 TV. So all are welcome to join. Don't worry too much about being broadcast to everybody because nobody will see you. If you choose to have video on, only I will see you. And when you join, you're not immediately live. You'll be put into a waiting room. I'll call on you one at a time, and you can call in with your questions about, maybe MIDI controllers or perhaps creative questions, motivational questions, stuff that has to do with being a home studio musician. And I see that we do already have a couple callers in the waiting room, which I'm totally going to get to very soon. But first, I want to check in with text chat because, of course, if you're not feeling too comfortable calling in or something, or maybe you're not allowed, maybe you're younger, it might not be an option for you. So I will do my best to keep an eye on the text chat in both 343 Labs channel as well as my own channel. So let's see who's here. Sammy Gamer, what is up? You were first today. Congratulations. Welcome. JPM, what is up? Unfortunately, I only speak English, so I cannot read this, but hey, thank you for being here. Daniel, what is going on? Nice to see you. Leslie Cruz, Rashane, who I also see Rashane in the waiting room for a call. That's what I like to see. Samuel, what's going on? Welcome. Nishark, hello. Heiko, what is going on? Greetings from Germany. Oh, very cool, very cool. Delirium. Leslie's jumping right in with a question. We'll get to that in a bit. Perky Man is here. Oh, I'm stoked. We've got a nice waiting room. We can jump right in with calls. Darren James is here. Darren James is here for the second time today because I streamed earlier today. Darren James was hanging out in the earlier stream today when we were going over the Launch Key Mark III, which is really cool. Daniel, what is up? Bueno, how is it going? Mel, Curly Soul, Cinco Star, Daniel again from Colombia, very cool. Gandalf, what is going on? Germany, a few different German viewers today. If you didn't know, we actually just had our first set of open houses the past couple of days in Berlin because 343 Labs is opening a school, some classroom in Berlin with Riverside Studios, if you're familiar and you're from the area. So you should definitely hit us up. Check that out. 343labs.de for the German audience. Check it out. United Pandalas, what is up from Mexico? Very cool, very cool. Mystery Kid. All right, lots of people jumping in the chat today. I'm very stoked. I do want to get right to a couple calls, and then maybe we'll take a call break if we go to them. I'm going to take calls as they come, so feel free to jump in. We have two waiting, and I don't want to keep them waiting for too long. So like I said, use the number that I've already dropped in the chat to call in. You'll be put into the waiting room. I'll call you. I'll bring you on in whatever order you call. Make sure, I'm about to call on you, Rashane, so this is for you and everybody else who calls in, that you bring the stream volume down so that it doesn't feed back to us, all that stuff. Hopefully, the levels are okay, but keep me posted, folks, if you cannot hear the speaker. But Rashane, we're going to bring you in right now. Usually it takes a couple minutes for it to actually load the sound, but it is letting me know. It lets me know when you're connected to audio. Rashane, looks like your mic is muted, so just make sure you go ahead and unmute that. I'll go ahead and ask to unmute. They add all these new features to Zoom, and it makes it so much more convenient. Rashane, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm in New York.
New York. Okay. You've been to actual 343 Labs, right?
Yes, I've taken some classes.
Oh,
Highly recommend for people who are curious and interested.
tell us
Yeah,
the
the
classes you took because I'll ask you the
um,
questions first. How about that?
Sure. Yeah, I've taken the vocal production and the mixing and mastering classes.
Epic.
I actually ended up doing those virtually while we've been in the pandemic,
Oh,
and
wow.
the experience has been great. So yeah, you're not missing out from the in-person experience if you've been hesitant on taking the classes.
That's good to know. And the thing that's cool about it is like you're in New York, so you could have been there in person, but there's a lot of people not in New York who couldn't have even been there in person. And now to know that the classes are all virtual, it actually kind of works out better for a lot of people.
Yes, yeah.
But very cool. So you had Justin and Abe for instructors?
Yeah, and then I'm forgetting one. I took the synthesis class as well with John Selway.
Oh, you got a full education.
Yeah, I use the pandemic as a time to like, okay, I'm home. I can take these classes in between still like working. So yeah, I just
Absolutely.
made use of the opportunity that's been given to like be at home and take these classes at the same time.
That's what you got to do. I think that's what we're all trying to do. You know, I jumped on the streaming stuff. I was like, okay, I'm going to do streaming for real. I took that opportunity with the pandemic and, you know, it worked pretty well. So I'm glad people are taking advantage of the classes. But you called in to ask a question, not for me to ask you questions. So
Yeah.
how's it going, Rashane? What's going on?
Good. Yeah, my question wasn't gear related. It's a little bit more, I guess, branding,
Let's
kind
do
of
it.
streaming, YouTube
That's what I like to hear.
related. Yes, I'm like trying to get into that. Like I make music and I'm in the stages of wrapping that stuff up and want to put that out before the end of the year. But I also want to start building like a presence, right? And not just
Absolutely.
be insulated in my room and doing things. So as someone new who's starting out, the question is like, since I'll probably be trying a bunch of things, like what is good to limit as far as the style of videos I might go for just to see what connects. I don't want to like throw too much at the wall and not know what's resonating with people.
Well,
Um,
I actually think that that is the strategy at this stage because
okay.
if you're just starting and like you haven't even started really putting anything out, the only thing you can do right now, I can't give you a like, hey, try
Mm-hmm.
this. This is the thing that works, and just do this because you will probably have a different audience than I have. I'm not sure what kind of music you make, but regardless, even if we made the same exact kind of music, you might just have a different audience or find different folks listening or watching your stuff than me for whatever reason. But so the strategy really is throw a lot of things at the wall and see what sticks. But the part that most people forget about is the seeing what sticks part
Okay.
because you have so much opportunity and freedom. Like it's your social media, it's your platforms. So you can literally put anything out. That doesn't mean you should put anything and everything out. And what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and that sounds contradictory, but I do mean at first, try as many things as possible, put as many things out as possible, but then take the time to go back and look at what is actually working because you might be having fun, say, posting one type of content, but it might not be performing well. And then you might have another type of content that is working extremely well that you don't have as much fun posting, but is resonating more with people and is actually getting you out in front of more people. The one thing I would say looking ahead at that, because sometimes they can be conflicting. If you hit the lottery and the content that you love making and you love putting out is your most popular content, great. But usually what I find is we never know what our audiences are going to like, and they end up liking the most random stuff we didn't even expect to be great or that we didn't even put that much effort into or whatever it might be. So you want to see it as a ratio. So do stuff for you, do stuff that you enjoy putting out regardless of audience reaction, and then checking to see what stuck to the wall, see what works really well, and make a commitment to yourself because it's a little bit like a business. Even though we are artists, if we want to eventually live off our work one day or we want to even just self-fund our art, we have to pay attention to what people are responding to and act on that. So maybe there's one piece of content that you really like making, and you like to do that, once a week, great. And it has okay engagement. There's another piece of content that is maybe very difficult to make, strenuous maybe, but the audience responds really well to it. I would say put that into practice and do it to a ratio. Do some of what you find fun and you just like to do, and then some of what the audience is engaging with, but it is going to be work. Don't fall on what's just easy and fun. Also, take a look at the results and realize, hey, I might have to do some of this stuff that's a little bit harder.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks. That's very helpful.
But in terms of like straight up, like how to start, just start documenting what you're doing in every single way possible with your music. Showing, like, you took all those classes, so you're probably super knowledgeable. You probably learned a lot of lessons. It's not like any of the stuff you learned is proprietary. It's not like a secret recipe or something. So maybe if you're working on a track, you can post like a mixing technique that you use specifically, like every time you mix something, or something that you find really helpful, something that you learned in one of your classes or you learned from a tutorial somewhere. Share those little tips with people while also documenting what you're working on, because somebody might show up for the tip. People are kind of like selfish and self-serving at first, right? When they're looking for content, they're looking for something that's going to serve them. Usually it's either entertainment value or, some type of value, like a tutorial, like learning something educational. So if you can get them with the educational, I mean, that's been my strategy. Hook people with educational content. And then when they're here, they're like, oh, this music is dope. So you see how that'll work to serve you.
It serves both. Like you're giving them something that they can use. And then you're also like offering something else. Like, oh, my music, I want you to check out my music. But
exactly.
Here's a tip on how I made the track.
Yeah, and don't have too many expectations. Like, yes, you can have it as that sort of exchange. That's what you hope for. But don't have any expectations. Just put positive stuff out and people will automatically respond. If it becomes a little too like asky, like, hey, I just gave you this tip, now you got to go subscribe to my thing or whatever, then it gets a little weird. But if you just put out positive stuff, people will do it regardless of if you ask them. That's what will end up happening. At least that's what I find. But then just documenting things that look cool too. Like there's an entertainment value factor there. Like you have an iPhone, Android, whatever you have, put cool filters on stuff. Like just kind of look at some popular Instagram photos or popular photography and learning the basics of photography, even though we're music producers and like that's not our number one thing. But here I am sitting with a pro level camera there and a pro level camera above me. Like, am I a video creator? Am I a music producer? Like the lines will really, really start to get blurry when you start making content to get your music out there, but it's in service to the music. So it goes hand in hand.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's helpful. Yeah, I'm trying to get in a better habit of like shooting B-roll just so there is content.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just making cool cuts and highlight reels and stuff. If that's how you start, you'll be golden. But just put stuff out and don't question yourself. It's better that you put stuff out there that maybe you don't feel like it's 100% great. Like don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good, you know what I'm saying? Because I've put out content that I have almost not put out and it has performed better than content I've worked for hours and hours on. And that's just the roll of the dice, you know? You cannot predict audience behavior all the time.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, thanks. This was great.
Let me ask you, are you watching the 343 TV stuff even though you're taking the courses?
Yeah, I've tuned in for Tuesdays is the house with Justin, and then I've
Wednesday's
watched
house.
Wednesday, okay, and then I watched on Thursday some of the music theory stuff because, just to keep that fresh in my mind. I feel like you always learn something new, even hearing the same thing over and over.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. I'm glad you were taking advantage of this time and plowing through all those courses. That's good for you.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, and thanks again. I appreciate the content you put on your channel as well.
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah. All right, have a good rest of your day. You
too. Later.
Great Great call to start the day. Hopefully you all found some value in that listening at home. I see the text chat is popping off. I also have Samuel in the waiting room. Daniel, I know you were in the waiting room, so if you want to hop back in, don't worry, I take people as they come. So just hang tight in the waiting room. Don't feel like I'm ignoring you. I'm so stoked. There's lots of people jumping here in the text chat. I'm stoked about it. Mel from Argentina, that's so dope. Thank you. Curly Soul, so happy to be catching this for the first time. Thank you so much. Usually what I had been doing, folks, is doing a Monday live, Mentor Monday live, where people can call in, but with the move, it's just been crazy. This coming Monday, we've got a video dropping that actually Chroma Beats on the 343 chat kind of asked, or Paul asked. So where beyond SoundCloud to start? Like, where can you put music out? Spotify, Apple Music, all that. My video on Monday is actually going to include a lot of, like, it's a straight up tutorial on how to get your music out beyond SoundCloud onto the major streaming services. I'm also dropping a track. So I actually documented the process of me finishing my track and putting it up on the streaming services. So I'm showing you exactly how I did that. That video is dropping Monday along with the track. So I'm stoked. Scott Vincent was making beats. That is the best excuse to be late for this live stream, Scott Vincent. I'm glad you could be here. Fishy Fish, I'm here for the music. We're not really playing music, but you can still be here. Mr. Kid from Jamaica, sweet. Jose from Paraguay, what is going on? And let's get Samuel in here. Samuel, you're coming in. Make sure you have muted the stream. We got another caller. Make sure, folks, that you have the right Zoom code. I'm typing it into the chat as we speak. Hey, my mom's here. What's going on, Mom? Welcome to the chat. Oh, hello.
Hi.
And Samuel is here. Hi, Samuel. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Where are you calling in from, Samuel?
The UAE.
The UAE. Wow, that's so far from
Like
here.
3 a.m. here.
That's crazy. Are you allowed to be up this early / late? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't really care. It's summer either way.
Nice. Very cool. What's your question today?
Okay, so I've been doing piano, like classical piano, for I think 2 years now.
Nice.
I'm level 5, and I just got my first MIDI controller. It's still like arriving in the mail.
Which one did you get?
And,
Which one did you get?
I got the Launch Key Mini.
Yes. That is the right answer. I'm excited for you.
It's just the best price for value.
You're totally right. I totally agree with that. What is it like? It's like $100, like $107 or something. And then there's so much jam packed into it. How did you come to that decision? What controllers were you deciding between?
So I was deciding between the Arturia and the Launch Key, because the
A lot of people.
MPK was out of stock.
Oh, wow. I bet it was flying off the shelves because everybody was stuck at home and wanted a controller.
Yeah.
So hopefully you're planning on using Ableton Live.
Yeah.
Great. Do you have it already, or are you going to work with the Live Lite license that comes with the Launch Key?
I'm gonna learn with the Live Lite.
Great. That's great. It has some limitations, but if you're just learning, then it's fine to start that way. And as you start to like it and upgrade, you're going to get better and better and be able to upgrade it, you know?
Yeah. And I'm thinking of using the student discount for the standard edition later on.
You absolutely should. I got Live when I was in college, Live 9, I believe. I started with Live 8, and then I got Live 9 when I was in college, and I used the student discount, and it was perfect. Like, save so much money just by being a student.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Did I step on your question? What was your question? I'm sorry. I got too excited about the Launch Key.
So I was thinking, like, to use it with GarageBand, but I don't know what it can control in the software itself. Like GarageBand iOS.
So on your iPad or iPhone?
Yeah, on my iPad.
So I'm not too sure. I would imagine, I'm guessing here, but you'll absolutely be able to use the keys to play, and then you'll likely be able to use the pads. Those will work for drums. I'm assuming, because I don't use GarageBand on iOS, but this is kind of how everything kind of works. You'll be lucky if the knobs work. I'm not sure if they will. And then maybe the transport controls, meaning like the play button. Is there a play button on the Mini? I can't even remember. Yes, so maybe the play and record button will also work. So basically with MIDI controllers, especially the Ableton Live integrated ones, what usually works across any of the platforms is obviously the keys and the pads for notes, maybe the knobs for adjusting some parameters, and the transport controls, so the play and record. That's likely what's going to work on GarageBand for iOS, but let me tell you, since you have the launch key coming, there's an app called Groovebox, all one word, Groovebox, and it's made by Amplify. They're a company called Amplify, who's owned by Novation. So that app, it syncs up perfectly with the launch key, the same way that the launch key syncs up with Ableton Live perfectly. This Groovebox app, being made by a subsidiary of Novation, essentially syncs up perfectly with the launch key. So if you find yourself getting stuck with GarageBand and what is offered to you there, just try Groovebox, because it works almost like Ableton as well, so you can get a little bit of a feel for that workflow.
Yeah. I had another tiny question.
Go for it.
Is that I saw some people using it with the iPad using the camera connection kit.
Yep.
But they had to use like external power to power.
Yes.
Because the iPad wasn't powerful enough.
Is
that true?
Yeah, let me ask you. You're using an iPad?
Yeah.
What year iPad are you using? Do you know?
The 6th gen.
6th gen. Let me check real quick, because I have an older iPad and I need to confirm what generation. So I have the 5th gen iPad and I need to use external power to use the launch key with it. But one solution to that is, you use the camera connection kit, and then I use a portable charger. So where's my launch key? Let me see. So you could use like a portable charger with it, so you don't have to plug into the wall. So you need a special charger, a special like cable adapter, so you can hook up the launch key. Oh, you know what you need? You need a powered USB hub. That'll do it for you. A powered USB hub usually can plug into something, like if you imagine like a little 4-port USB hub just like this, and then some of them have you can't really see me, but you can see me on stream, but she'll be delayed. Here we go. Little USB hub that looks like this, and then some of them have little USB out ports, so you can plug them into power. So what I would do is take my USB hub and plug it into a power brick, like a portable charger, and then I would plug one end with the camera connection kit into my iPad, and then plug the launch key into one of the proper USB ports on it, and then you will be good to go and powered. But that's to say, wait till your launch key comes and try to just hook it up to your iPad. You will obviously need the lightning connector anyway, but maybe the 6th generation works. I know there's some newer generation of iPad that will just power it, but I know that mine does not, so you will need a solution for that.
Okay, thanks for the help.
No problem. And you can comment on some videos sometimes and just like remind me like, hey, it's Samuel, I called in. And if you like run into issues when the launch key finally gets delivered, just leave a comment somewhere, Twitter if you have it, Instagram, or just on one of my videos, because we're on YouTube right now.
Sure.
And thanks so much for calling in. That was a great call. I hope you call in again soon, Sam.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay, folks, the lines are open. I'm so stoked that Samuel is getting a launch key. That just makes me exciting. It's not just because it's a launch key. Anytime anybody gets a new piece of gear, it's just exciting. Like, even if it's not me, I just can share that joy, I think. But folks, the lines are open. So if you want to jump in and call in with your questions, they could be MIDI controller related. They could be music production or music marketing, branding related, like we did with the first call with Rashane. That's dope too. So I'm going to type this into the chat and you can go ahead and make it happen. So basically you take that number, you go to like join a call. And I don't know what I just did in that chat. You type that number in like you're going to make a new call or join a new room, and you enter that in as the room code on Zoom. You can do it from a phone, an iPad, a computer, all that. I am going to check in with the text chat. Looks like you all are here. Vasco says, hi, I'm from Jamaica. This is my first time. Interesting discussions, and I'm listening. Great. Thank you for being here, Vasco. Welcome. Glad you could be here for the first time. Who else is here? Chroma Beats, I should say, asked me about the Lumi keys. So yeah, folks, if you don't know, the Lumi keys is a really cool keyboard from Roly. So Roly makes the Seaboard block, which is like a squishy surface keyboard. It's MPE, so you can get really cool vibrato and stuff on it. It's like a membrane. It's really fun to play drums on as well. But they came out with a keyboard that's a little more traditional, has hard keys, not squishy keys, but the keys fully illuminate. So this is called Lumi, Lumi. And I'm hoping to get my hands on one soon. It was Kickstarter backed, so I know that some Kickstarter backers already have their hands on one. But I know that they were facing some production issues because of the pandemic. So I think it's been delayed a little bit to fall. Don't quote me on that. But I think it's cool. I got to try it at one point. I was in New York at the Roly offices, and it was a very fun controller. It's actually going to be great for people learning because it syncs up with the app, and the keys will light up for you, so it can help you learn. It's going to be cool. Como Beat says, I'm planning on saving up for Lumi keys and want an opinion since I'm already $40 down. Yeah, I think it's a good plan, especially if you don't already know keyboard. It's going to be a good system for you to learn on, and then it will be a totally cool, usable keyboard to just have and play with your DAW too. It doesn't just sync with the app. Heart Like a Lion asks, is that an expression cable next to your Tascam recorder? It is not. Actually, this is called the Touche SE. I could see why you would think it was a expression pedal. It does kind of look like one. So this usually lays flat on the table like this. And what this will actually allow you to do, this might be kind of hard to see, but perhaps I can show off the new overhead cam. So as you can see here, that thing is wiggly and wobbly. It's supposed to be like that. It connects via USB. So if you can imagine, I can like scratch the surface. I can do vibrato on the surface. I can slide up it. It changes on all these axes. And imagine I'm playing notes on the push. They don't have MPE like the Seaboard does. But what ultimately happens is you can add that level of expression with your second hand. So that's what this is, Touche SE. I'm glad I have all these shelves in view so you guys can ask cool questions about all the gear that's around. I don't want to put that back there and then it falls and then it breaks. And we have a caller. So I will jump back into text chat after this call with Gabriel Mendoza. Magaria. Gabriel, I'm bringing you in on the call. Let's see. Hi, Gabriel. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome. Welcome to the stream. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. Where are you calling in from?
Mexico. I don't know if you remember. Last time I called in from France in a Mentor Monday.
Oh, wow. So you were in France and now you're in Mexico. Mexico is home for you?
Yes. Because of the pandemic, I had to come back, and now I'm just moving in actually. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you're super busy. How's that going?
It's hard because, as a drummer, I had my drum set in my room, but now since I got here, they used my room as like a storage unit, and I had to set everything up and just make sure that everything is cool, it's okay, and set up like my workspace so that I can produce, I can keep my creativity going.
Yeah. Well, see this as sort of a fresh start, a new beginning, a change, limitations that you can work within, all that. Because, it may be a strenuous time, but something good can come out of it. Whatever you're planning to make will be beautiful regardless of the situation. And that's what we can do as artists when we're kind of faced with adversity and inconvenience and all those things.
Yeah, exactly. And like trying to express how we want to like keep motivated with our music, and that others may like feel the same when they're listening to it.
Yeah.
So my question I have two questions. One is about gear, and the other one is basically how can like your marketing stuff.
My two favorite things.
And The first one is I got the MPK, the Akai MPK Mini 2.
Yep.
And I mean, for me, it's fantastic because it's kind of, it was relatively cheap. It's not pricey, and it's good for like getting started.
Totally
and
is. I agree.
Stuff. But in one of your videos, you compared that one with the launch key, I think.
Yes, it's true. I've done many comparisons. So yeah, comparing it to the Launch Key Mini Mark III, right?
Yeah. And I found that because later on I want to make like live live videos when
Yep.
I'm like kind of producing and all of that stuff. And I think that the launch key will be more helpful than the Akai, but it's like just so I know that later on if I get to that point where I think the launch key is better, or should I stick with the MPK?
Well, in terms of live performance, I assume you use Ableton Live.
Okay.
Do you use? Yeah. Okay. Yes. What I would say is eventually, if you were going to do performing, the launch key would serve you better because it has so many more like transport controls. It's got the clip launching. It's got the stuff that the Akai MPK Mini doesn't have. That said, if this is something you're going to do down the road eventually, think about it as you already have a really great keyboard and pad controller. Like, other than the performance stuff, this does everything else really well. So if you went ahead and bought the launch key, you'd essentially, what would you do? You would sell the MPK, or it would end up gathering dust maybe. What I might recommend instead is something like the Launchpad X. You know, the newest Launchpad line is really great. The Launchpad X is probably my favorite. I have the Pro, but I haven't had a chance to take it out of the box yet. The Mini is okay too, but if you don't mind the full size, which I actually prefer the full size, this has velocity sensitive pads. It also has the record button. So why I say this is because instead of just replacing the MPK, if you like the MPK and you're comfortable with it and you like it as a tool, if you paired it with a Launchpad, especially like the Launchpad X, you would be getting all the great things, or, you know, most of the great things about the launch key. And you would be getting a new piece of gear to add to your to add to your performance setup, because what I would imagine is if you really want to do performance and stuff, one controller is fine, but two controllers is even better. So I forget what this retails at, but it can't be that much more expensive than the Launch Key Mini. These two together would be absolute power couple. You're able to do all the looping stuff, all the recording stuff, launching clips, everything you would need to do performance. And then you use this strictly to play your notes, and then even adjust some parameters, map some effects, things like that. You can even make your own custom modes on this. I just would say, and don't throw the MPK out to replace it with something. Maybe get something to add on to this setup. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, a lot of sense actually.
For sure. Because also, like, this already has a sustain port if you wanted to do some pedal looping. The only thing that you wouldn't have with this setup is MIDI out, but if you're not using any external gear like synthesizers and stuff, then that doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay. And the other question, just a quick question, like, if I'm trying to like start to publishing music, what do you think it's better, like getting into my avatar and my banner, like in like my
your
face,
visual
or
branding?
And yeah, like as like my face or some other design made by a graphic designer?
It could be both. That's what I think. Why not both? And it goes back to kind of Rashane's calls. Like, we don't know what's going to work. When we start putting stuff out, we don't know what's going to work. There's pros and cons to using your face. I mean, you want people to recognize you, like who you are as an artist. So maybe using your face is not such a bad idea, but it's also not a bad idea to have a dope logo. And if you watched my channel trailer that I just put out like last week, you see that I just did an update of some of the branding, but I'm using like a picture of myself and a new logo. So it's both, you know? And I think it's okay to experiment, especially in this stage as you're just starting. Experiment with visual branding. Actually, just take a look at all the artists that you love. Instead of paying very close attention to their music, go to their Instagram pages, go to their websites, go to whatever visual presence they have and see how they represent themselves and try to dissect what works for them, A, what works for them, and B, what you like what you're actually drawn towards, and try to figure out if you can take all the best parts of all the artists that you love and all those ideas about visual representation and combine them into something new, you will have your new visual branding and your new visual branding plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
so thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And good luck with all that stuff. I hope you get all your drums set up and everything cool. Eventually, like if you end up making a second controller purchase, let me know what you ultimately decide on and let me know how it goes with the visual branding. You know, keep up in the comments on new videos, or if you're on Twitter or on Instagram, definitely let me know and say like, hey, it's me, Gabriel from the call, and we talked about this and I just wanted to follow up and say I did this. I would love to hear follow up, because sometimes you all call in and I never hear, you know, what the actual result was, but I would love to know.
Yeah, of course. I'll send you a message I'm in the Discord server. So.
Perfect. Yes, that's epic. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Gabriel.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right. We have one call on deck. Nassim Ali, I see you. What is up? I just want to dip into text chat for a moment to see how folks are doing. Diane Parker says, so how did you come up with your name unless this is your actual birth name? Yeah, it's funny. It actually is just my birth name. So TAETRO is my last name. My first name is Nick. TAETRO is not spelt the same way. It's a French, originally a French name, even though I'm not French, but the pronunciation is TAETRO or close to it. So what I ended up doing is just taking the name and spelling it out phonetically. And I really just liked the way TAETRO in all caps, TAETRO looks. It sounds good. It's easy to say. I used to perform music under a different name that was like a lot longer and less catchy. And TAETRO has just kind of stuck. So when I decided to launch a new electronic music project, this is what I landed on. Just took my own last name and made it work. Anthony is here. Anthony, thank you for being here. Welcome. I'm glad you were able to tune in for a bit. I hope you all are enjoying the stream. Please let me know if you are. If you don't know, this stream is brought to you by 343 TV, which is a project by 343 Labs, an electronic music school that's virtual, based in New York, and then now based in Berlin. So all of my German friends that are hanging out, you can check that out. But you can take classes at 343 Labs. So they've got classes. Rashane, who called in earlier, took 3 classes. Mixing, mixing, techno with, not techno. Anyways, there's so many classes. Mixing and mastering, Ableton Live for all levels, Logic for all levels, synthesis and sound design with John Selway. That was the idea I was looking for. Vocal production with Lewis Beck. Really, really great courses, and there's actually a summer sale going on right now, so it is the best time to pick up a course and start learning, because actually what Rashane talked about earlier was it's a pandemic, stuck at home, time to learn, and that's what you can all do. If you are stuck at home and quarantining, like we all kind of should be to keep safe, if you have that extra time at home, take advantage of the summer sale. Go to 343labs.com. Just take a look at the course catalog and see if there's something in your knowledge, if there's a gap in your knowledge that you could fill in and use this time to do, because there's really intense 12-week courses with amazing instructors that are all at the top of their game. Ableton certified instructors like Claire Lim, aka dolltr, Josh Bess, Max Wild. Dig in and check out some courses at 343labs.com. Just see what's there, and don't forget to check them out because there's a summer sale, so you can check out the discount too. Save a lot of money. And then tune in every day for 343 TV. We have shows every day, Monday through Saturday, and we're going to be continuing that next week and for the weeks for the foreseeable future. And we're actually might be adding some feedback sessions, so stay tuned for that. Feedback sessions, a Logic show, and we might be switching up the Friday show. So stay tuned. Cool things on the horizon. 343labs.com. Leslie Cruz, I think I missed your question. Can I control more than one hardware synth with the new Launch Key Mark III, no PC? What kind of control? Using the MIDI out. I believe it only has one MIDI out, Leslie Cruz. So unless there is some hardware, I'm not a hardware guy, but unless there is some hardware situation where you can run one output from a keyboard and control multiple things, like maybe like a MIDI mixer where you can choose what it's sending MIDI to. It only has one MIDI out, unfortunately. The SL Mark III, on the other hand, has multiple outs. You can control multiple synths with it. It's got a sequencer. If you are a hardware person, I would highly recommend check out the Novation SL Mark III, which is kind of like the souped up version of the Launch Key. All right, lots of folks in the chat, but we also have lots of folks on deck for the call. Nassim, you are up, but don't worry, Ben and George, I see you both. Nassim, it looks like you don't have a microphone. Oh, you do have a microphone. How's it going, Nassim?
Hey, man. Good. And yourself?
I'm good. Where are you calling in from today?
California.
Oh, amazing. We're in the same state.
Yeah, more specifically, the Bay Area.
Very cool. Welcome.
Yeah.
What's your question?
So I've had Logic Pro for a while, but like I just started like getting into it, like trying to learn it. Cause I've been busy with like other things like college especially.
Yeah.
So I've recently been watching like a lot of Ableton videos and it just seems dope, like what you can do with it, especially like with the push.
It is.
So now I'm like,
gotta tell you, it's dope.
Yeah, it is. But like I don't know, like I'm contemplating like whether to switch to Ableton because I barely just like scratched the surface with Logic. So like I don't know, like I've already invested in Logic. I don't know if I should invest in Ableton like early before I like get further with Logic.
You talking about time investment or money investment or both?
Well, more so time because I do have like the money to afford it, but it's also because like I'm studying engineering, so that's like very time consuming.
Absolutely.
Like, during the school year.
Yeah, I hear that. What I would say is if you're having that urge, the thing about it is if you just stick with Logic, quote unquote, you're always going to be like, damn, should I have tried Ableton? Should I go try Ableton today? You're always going to have that nagging in the back of your mind. And right now, I believe the trial for Ableton is still 90 days. So you can try Ableton for free for 90 days, completely, risk-free, unlimited. You could just...
Is this like an intro trial?
No. You can download the full Ableton Live suite. Use Suite for 90 days, export tracks, do everything, 90 days. So, and they used to be 30 days. And they recently extended it during the pandemic for folks to try it a little bit longer. So there's that aspect, because if it's going to be nagging at you, like if you're always going to be wondering, that's a part of your brain that's going to be constantly distracted. Whereas at least if you try Ableton, you'll know one way or the other, or you'll spend time with both. And then what could hurt from that? I think eventually you'll end up preferring one or the other. Granted, you're going to jump into Ableton and you're going to be like, what the heck is all this crap? This is totally different, because it kind of breaks the mold of the traditional DAW of how Logic is so linear. I mean, I know the Logic just dropped the new loop mode and everything, but that is actually like replication of what Ableton is doing. So
yeah, honestly, I was about to switch to Ableton until they dropped Logic dropped 10.5. And I was like, all right, well, why would I switch now? But the thing is, like, there's like so many like MIDI controllers that are just like synced with Ableton, and so like, damn, it's like kind of not fair, Like that just makes me want to switch to Ableton even more.
That's the thing, you go with what's going to be the easiest path, and what you said is absolutely right. Like, you have companies like Novation literally making controllers specifically for Ableton. You have Ableton themselves specifically making controllers for their software. You don't see a lot of third-party software developers making like the Launchpad right now has a Logic Pro mode since they just dropped the looping stuff in 10.5. But you know that the Novation Launchpad was built for Ableton Live. So adding Logic compatibility is like, okay, I gotta turn it upside down or on its side or something. Like, it's not built for Logic, and you don't see. I can't think of a single manufacturer that's making a Logic specific controller, and they all have their own individual workflows. So when you have people like Novation, etc., making controllers for Ableton Live, it's just, I don't know, it's too convenient to pass up, you know what I mean?
But essentially, I mean, you could make the same music with Logic Pro as you could in Ableton,
Absolutely,
right?
100%, 100%. It just comes down to what flows out of you the easiest, you know? Like, you don't know what you're good at until you try it. Like, you might be good at something, like if you just take it out of music for a second, you're studying engineering, right?
Yeah.
So you can be an engineer. What if like one day you tried, what's something so random? What if one day, like if you've never played chess before and you play chess and you were actually the best chess player in the entire world, but you just had never played chess before? Like, what if there was like this part of your brain that just unlocks that you would have never known if you didn't try something? So that's what could potentially happen with Ableton. You could pick up Ableton and feel just like naturally inclined and better at making music, or just like more likely, maybe it's a more enjoyable process for you, or maybe the other way around. Maybe you try Ableton and it affirms for you that Logic is the workflow that you like. But either way, you have to discover it. You have to have that experience.
Yeah, it's true.
So what do you think you're going to do? You going to give it a try?
Yeah, I'll definitely give the 90-day trial a try.
Give it a try,
Yeah.
download it, give it a shot. Like I know the controllers and stuff are so appealing. Don't spend any money until you feel like, okay, I'm going to actually do that, because that's where the real investment comes in. But what I'm feeling, and I'm biased because I am a live user. I've used Ableton since I was in high school. So like over 10 years. Like it just makes sense. And you know, Logic can add loop mode all they want, but Ableton's been doing it, you know?
That's right.
So hopefully I can hear from you. You can hit me up on whatever social media, whatever, and you can let me know how it goes and what you end up deciding.
Yeah, for sure, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much for calling in today.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
It's just so like starting something new. That's what's exciting. I know that people are here in the chat. Samuel, yes, you can rewatch the stream. It will be up. Don't worry. Mystery Kid, what's my favorite MIDI controller keyboard right now? I've been using the new Launch Key Mark III 37. I really like the 37 key form factor. It changes every day. I'm sorry. I'm stoked for all these folks in the chat. Oh, Diane Parker switched from 343 chat and came over to TAETRO chat. How surprising. We have 2 more callers on deck. And honestly, I don't know who called me first, Ben or George, but I'm going to use alphabetical order because that's the only thing I can think of. Ben, you're coming in. Take these 2 calls. These will be the final calls today. Thank you for tuning in to 343 TV. So glad to have you all here. Ben, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
I'm good.
Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Texas.
Amazing. How are things in Texas, though? Things are getting a little crazy out there.
Oh, yeah.
I hope you're staying safe.
Yeah. So I just have like one question for you.
Take it away.
So I've been using the Launchpad Mini for a long time, and I've been wanting to switch over to the Launch Key.
Yep.
But they're all like $200 and stuff. So what's like a brand at least 150 under, like a cheap sort of way?
So are you looking at the Mini or are you looking at the big ones?
I just want a Mini right now, and then
Are you
I'll eventually
sure?
start moving up.
You're saying launch key is $200? I don't think so.
Or not the minis, the big ones.
Oh,
but
you want a big one specifically?
no, I want the mini. I'm just like the more expensive mini brands are around $200, but I don't want to spend that much on a small keyboard.
I'm looking at Amazon right now, $109 for the Launch Key Mini for this keyboard right here.
Oh, okay. Because
That's
I've
the
been
way to
looking
go.
at them there. They're around like $200.
If you go on Amazon, you should be able to get one 109. That's what it says currently on Amazon.com. Highly recommend. But even so, like if you didn't like small size keys, like even if you did want to get the full size, actually it might be hard to get. But
Oh, I found it. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
you see it. And then also, like, we talked about the Launchpad X before, but if you want something with keys, if you're comfortable with learning keys or if you already know how to play keys, then yeah, totally recommend this. But if you're comfortable with the Launchpad X is a big upgrade from the Launchpad Mini for sure.
Yeah, but I've been playing. I know how to play piano more than I actually know how to play
Oh,
the
nice.
Launchpad, even though they're the same. It's just the Launchpad
Yeah.
is more confusing, is what I mean.
It's just, people have been learning piano for years and years and years, and grid controllers are fairly new in terms of human lifespan, human existence. So there's less out there. We're less trained to use grid controllers. I guess I answered your question.
Pretty much, yes.
What kind of music do you make?
Pretty much EDM, hip hop, stuff like that. I don't make a lot.
You got a SoundCloud link people can go to?
No, not yet.
We got to get some music out there.
Yeah.
What's the holdup?
I don't know. I haven't done my Launchpad in a long time, and I'm just starting it, so I'm just going to switch to Launch Key and still use the Launchpad, but not as much.
I hear you. I feel that. Just be careful about gear acquisition. Like if you're getting that launch key, that's an investment. Make sure you spend the time and that you go for it and that you don't feel like the launch key is going to solve a problem for you. Like sure, like playing keys, you're more comfortable, but then you're committed to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do what you got to do. Grab that launch key and start putting out some music as best you can. Okay.
Okay.
Stay tuned to the tutorials because I'm going to do even more coming up, like for beginners with launch key and stuff. So hopefully it will be helpful to you once you do get it.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. Stay safe.
You too.
Easy. That was an easy call. All right. We got 2 more callers. Chat. Accurate. I'm just seeing that you're here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Folks, go to Accurate's channel. Subscribe. Please. He's got a new NPC video out, and it's dope. Who else? Raul, what is up? Your videos helped me, and now I'm glad having my Atari Mini Lab. I'm so stoked. I'm just stoked that everybody can find the controller that's for them, because as you can see, I give a lot of love to like Novation controllers. We talked about the HiBK Mini, but there's so many controllers. You guys can't even see, but the shelves go all the way up to the ceiling. There's so many great ones, and you don't know which one is the best for you. I just tell you what I kind of think. Let's grab George. Oh God, I almost hit remove. George, come on in. Let's see if this loads. Here we go, here we go, here we go. George, looks like your... Oh, audio is connecting. Okay. I have to be patient. Not my best quality. Arturo, you should get your music out wherever you possibly can, not just SoundCloud. Can literally go wherever. But any and all the places. Be creative, make videos, cool photos. The places people are already listening and watching stuff. George, I can hear you now.
Thank you. Hi, TAETRO. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Lima, Peru.
Awesome. How are things over there? Are you staying safe?
Yes, but a little bit complicated. One of the most affected countries in the world right now, but we're trying to deal with it.
Yeah, hopefully you'll be able to make it. Hopefully you'll be able to stay safe and, your family is safe and all that. But I know it's a difficult time, so my heart is out to you.
Yeah, sure. Trejo, I have a question. I want to use Ableton Lite because I'm going to buy the Scarlett Solo interface.
Nice.
But my question is, I have some many doubts on buying a MIDI controller. Which one for you is the best between the Mini Lab and the MPK2? This one these two are my main options. Here in Lima, you cannot buy like a lot of MIDI controllers.
Got it.
So, but which one of them is can synchronize better to Ableton for you?
If I had to choose between those two specifically for Ableton Live, I would choose the Arturia Mini Lab, which I'm glad you brought it up because we haven't given it much love today. So the Mini Lab, the reason I say the Mini Lab, first of all, the build quality is amazing. This is like heavy. It's got a metal base. The keys are the best key quality out of any of the mini MIDI controllers that I've played. And it's got the pads, keys, and knobs. Now, there's some sketchy stuff with some of this knob performance, but it's something you can work around with the software. The pads do the drum thing, but they also launch clips. So that's the thing that gives it the leg over the MPK Mini, because one of the main workflow features of Ableton Live is launching clips, looping, all that stuff, and that's something that you can do with these pads. So just make sure you look up lots of tutorials on how to use the Arturia Mini Lab specifically with Ableton Live, because it is a matter of switching from drum pad mode to session mode, which is very easy because you can just hold the shift button and switch modes with the pads. But my vote would absolutely be with the Mini Lab. Great controller for Ableton, especially if it's between the MPK Mini and the Mini Lab.
Yes, I feel very convinced about it.
I hope you're able to get it, because we need music in this time, and it's a scary time. It's a stressful time, and like being able to have an artistic expression, like an outlet to express yourself, is really, really important.
Yes. One more question.
For sure.
If I'm going to buy the Mini Lab, how it works on live? How it works live? If I want to
for a performance.
For a performance, yes.
It'll work. It'll work great. It's set up to work with Ableton Live. The sounds you get with Arturia stuff, like Arturia stuff, always comes with some software that includes some of their great sound library. So that's another bonus to playing live with it. But basically, any of these controllers do well with live. And again, the clip launching functionality puts it a step above the MPK, because you will use clip launching in your performances. Like when you want to get to the drop and you want to stop the drums, or you want the drums to all come in, that's the kind of stuff you can do with clip launching.
Oh, well.
I'm curious,
Okay,
are you processing audio? Like, are you using a microphone or plugging in an instrument? Is that what the Scarlett's for?
Well, only for guitar by now, because I don't have like a good microphone. Mm-hmm. But it will be only for guitar by now.
Okay, heard. Got it.
Thank you, Treasure.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Same.
Okay. Guys, the waiting room is filling up. I thought we were going to be able to do this by 5, but we can't. I got Perky Man, Rohan, and Cinco Star waiting in the waiting room. Perky Man, you coming in? Benj Exotic says, thank you for telling me about this info. I'll be ordering one today. Benj, remind me which one you're ordering. I forget. I'm glad. A lot of great conversation going on today, guys. Do me the favor, though. If you are loving... Oh, Abe Duque has big thoughts about audio interfaces. Motu M2 2X2 better than Scarlett. Abe, I'm curious to hear why. Because Focusrite Scarletts are beloved, and Motu, to me, is a thing of the past. But we're going to take our next call. Perky Man, oh, you're muted. Let me ask to unmute you. Sometimes...
Yes.
There we go.
I had an issue with my phone. I'm sorry.
No problem. Welcome to the TAETRO Talks show, I guess. Where are you calling in from?
Thank you. I'm calling from Paris.
Oh, nice. How are things over there?
It's not bad. So yeah, it's getting better here. So
good.
We'll see.
That's great to hear. What's your question today?
Okay, so my main question is. What do you suggest, like, to make music between using sample or using like playing MIDI notes, playing like with MIDI instruments? Like, what is more inspiring for you to do?
That's a tough one. I definitely do a mixture of both. And the other thing I
Okay.
love to do is take a sample and put it into a sampler and play it like an instrument. So that's a lot about my approach to music making is a lot of like taking samples, throwing them into a sampler, and then playing them like a MIDI instrument, playing them with MIDI notes. That said, a sample could inspire a track that I use MIDI instruments with, and then a track that I start with MIDI instruments could inspire me to use some samples. So it's definitely a combination. The way I generally use samples is the way I just said: throw them into Simpler or Sampler on Live, and then play them like an instrument, or I put them into a drum rack and and play them like they're one-shot samples. And then the way usually, like I'm a player, like I'm not classically trained, but I have experience. I went to like music school and learned, took basic keyboarding classes, and I'm very comfortable with the keyboard and push. So I'm very comfortable playing chords and notes and stuff like that. What I find is for folks that come from like the MPC world, like Accurate Beats is in the chat. And if you're able to go to his channel and check out his work with some of the MPCs and sampling, people make amazing beats like just from samples and from a sample-based approach. Like Jay Dilla is huge for that. Sarah the Instrumentalist, who I had on last week, does definitely a combination of both, chopping up samples and using notes. So I don't think it's ever one or the other. I don't know if that answer is helpful though.
Okay.
What I'll say is like people will try to make you feel bad about what you do, no matter which you take. They'll say, "Oh, like samples is cheating," and like, "Oh, whatever." And the other thing is cheating. Like just block all that out. Like do whatever you're happy doing. It doesn't matter what people think. Make music how you know how to make it, and how you're comfortable making it, and how you're having fun making it.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm using like a musical theory software, which is the new Scalar 2. And
Nice.
It's very, very nice to use it because I'm comfortable to play keyboard, but it's very nice, to have all these chords put together, it will match. So I really like it. So yeah.
Yes, it like learning your chords, learning your scales. That's an invaluable thing that everybody should learn. I won't put people down because there's some people who know nothing about music theory that make epic music, but it's definitely a tool in the tool belt. It's the more you understand about the language of music, the more I guess eloquently you can speak, or the more verbose you can be, the more words you can use. So you're headed down the right path.
Okay, and I have a quick question.
Sure.
How is it to play on the Rolly, the keyboard, the Rolly?
The Seaboard?
Because I saw Neon Vine playing, like working.
She's
on it,
dope, huh?
Yeah, and it looked very fun, and like because you don't have like the regular keys.
Exactly.
So it's easy to play, or like
Yeah, so let's just demo that for the audience. So folks, in a regular keyboard, right? The keys are like buttons that you push. They're not like buttons that you push, but they go down. There's key action there. It travels down. On a Seaboard, or the Seaboard block like I have here, nothing like that. It's just a membrane. We talked about this earlier. You kind of like press into it. It feels like a silicone or rubber surface. So to answer your question, it's a little bit of an adjustment. Sure, it's a keyboard layout. So all my like voicings and stuff, I can play the keys, I can play my chords, I can play melodies. The one thing that there is like there's this in-between space, right? So this is where a black key would be. There's this in-between space. You can play in there. So you can slide up and down like that. So I had to work a little bit on my accuracy when playing with it because it's so floaty and you don't have that rigid surface of actual keys to kind of guide your fingers. So you have to be a lot more accurate with where you go in the air. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. But I highly recommend it. Like, probably not as like a first keyboard, but if you're looking to do some crazy stuff like Neon Vines does, it's so much fun. And like film scoring stuff too, because you get the vibrato and the impressions and all those things like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I love. Actually, I have the Cuneo with a wireless bass, the Cuneo. It's very interesting also. I have a wireless MIDI glove, which is very cool. And I'm working on a new show, and I want this kind of controller, different. I want something different. Actually,
for that purpose, I'd highly recommend it. That's totally cool.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Okay, well, thank you for your answers.
Thank you so much for calling in.
Again.
I appreciate you. Have a good one.
Thank you. Have a good one too. Bye-bye.
I'm running out of water, my friends. We're running out of water, but things are going well here. I see people tuning in. Juanes Martinez, what's up? Welcome to the chat. I'm feeling good about what we got going on here. Benj is getting a launch key mini. Yes, I'm so excited. Do it. I have 3 more callers. I have Rohan, Cinco, and Juanes. Rohan, you're up next. Let's see this question. Hey, TAETRO, is the Launchpad first gen still worth it in 2020? Don't have any music background. I love gear. Got several MIDIs, but always find myself stuck on how to use any controller to create. If you have several MIDIs, take the time to learn the controllers that you already have. Don't buy another controller. First generation, I would say, is not worth it in 2020. They've just come so far. The X is the new standard. The Launchpad X is the new standard. Velocity sensitive keys, scale mode, all that. That is too important. It's not worth it to just have a clip launcher anymore, like solely a clip launcher. There's too many controllers that can do both. So I couldn't recommend it unless you got it for free. Abe says about the Mo2 M2 2x2, which is another audio interface, which maybe you folks should take a look at considering. Better converters, beautiful looking, also cheaper than the Scarlett. Abe says you are a player. That's right, Abe, you heard me. My biggest tip on mastering your tracks is, I'm not a mastering engineer, but my biggest tip is to start your project file with all of the volume faders at -6 decibels. Don't start them out at 0. You're always going to end up not leaving enough headroom. Leave headroom. That is my number 1 tip for somebody who knows very little about mastering and just kind of masters their own stuff as we go. Rohan, I was about to bring you in. What happened? Or did we... I don't know what happened. Cinco, here we go. Sorry, guys, I got to balance both the text chat and the call, so I'm sorry if I don't make it to your call and you have to go or something, but more live shows to come. For sure. Cinco Star has a cool anime zoom avatar. I can't show it to you guys, but it looks kind of cool. Cinco Star, it looks like you have no microphone. Oh, Zoom always tells me to be patient. Samuel Messiah is recommending Andrew Wong's Music Theory in 30 Minutes video. Highly recommend. Yes, that's very cool. Still connecting, huh? Connect that audio, Cinco Star.
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. Welcome to the show.
I'm sorry if it took me a little bit.
No problem at all.
Thank you. It's really such an honor to be here. I really appreciate this from you.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Where are you calling in from?
Texas.
Texas, another Texas. That's your second person today.
Thank you. I just have one quick question. I'm not so familiar with Ableton. Well, actually, I don't know much about Ableton at all, but I do watch your videos from time to time.
Appreciate that.
I know how you do reviews on certain keyboards. I have the MPK Mini 2. I'm not sure if that one's an old one. I don't really know too much on those. But,
that's the most recent MPK, so you're good on that. If I could imagine, having no industry knowledge, I would imagine that they're going to come out with a Mark III soon, but who knows? I don't know what a guy does.
All right, thank gosh. I just had a quick question. I'm not sure. I wouldn't say which one's better because it depends on what you know and how you use of them. But my question is FL Studio not as good as Ableton? Because the only thing that I work with is FL Studio.
And how's it going for you?
Very confusing. I don't know much at all. I'm just learning chords and I just use samples and that's really about it.
Like, here's the thing. I don't think that this is about what DAW is better than what. I believe that Ableton Live is a much more robust DAW than FL Studio, but I also know a lot of really amazing producers using FL Studio. That said, what the problem you described is, it's like a problem that a lot of people have that want to get into music production and beat making and all that. And the problem is, folks like you have to learn both musical concepts, music theory, playing the keyboard at the same time as learning a software. And both of those things, the like strictly musical aspect and then the software, the music creation aspect, are two enormous things to take on and learn. So what ends up happening is people get frustrated because they're trying to learn both at the same time, and it's just overwhelming, and you don't see enough progress in either one, so you give up on both. So sure, you're kind of just dipping your toe in the water in FL Studio. If you tried Ableton Live, you would have the same process of like, I don't really know much. I'm still learning the software and I'm learning chords and I'm just using samples. You'd be having the same exact experience. The DAW is not causing this experience for you. It's you've taken on a monumental task. That is possible. It completely is possible to take on both of those and learn both at the same time. It's just going to be challenging, and you have to be smart about it and be honest with yourself about what you're focusing on in the specific moment. If you're getting frustrated by the software, but you're also trying to lay down a chord progression and it sounds bad because you don't know how to make a chord progression, that's going to add to the frustration. And maybe you're not frustrated about the software, you're just frustrated about the chords. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, understandable. I completely get that. Thank you so much. And another question is, I'm not sure what's the name of it. It's the keyboard that you have right next to you. Not the C block. The one beneath it.
Launch Key Mini?
Yeah. Is that any different from the MPK Mini that I have or that I use? Like, in what way does it work? Or
It is different, and I have a direct comparison video on my channel. So if you type in like TAETRO Akai MPK Mini versus Launch Key, you'll find it. Just like the briefest overview thing that I give you, like this one is a lot better for controlling the things in Ableton Live other than just note playing. Because the Akai MPK Mini is fine. It has pads, keys, and knobs, but you can't launch clips with it. You can't loop with it. This has capture MIDI. I don't know if you know what that is, but that is a clutch function of Ableton Live where you don't even have to press record. You play a great musical idea. You go, oh crap, I should have recorded that. Well, you hold shift, capture, it has already recorded it for you. Launching clips, looping, arpeggiator. Well, the other one has an arpeggiator. Fixed chord mode, MIDI out. This is a superior keyboard for the Ableton user over the MPK. Absolutely. So if you watch that comparison video, though, you will get a more detailed response.
Is that also usable? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's also usable for FL Studio as well. Sort of.
Yeah, it totally is, but the design in mind with the launch key is for Ableton Live. So for you, it wouldn't make a big difference using the MPK or using the launch key. I would actually venture to guess that the MPK makes more sense for you using FL because there's a lot of stuff like printed on this controller, like capture MIDI and, you know, the different pad controls, session, that stuff doesn't exist in FL Studio. So the stuff printed on here won't make any sense to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more compatible for Ableton.
For sure. Yeah, not that it wouldn't work with FL Studio, but it's just very much designed for Ableton specifically.
Well, thank you so much. That's just all the questions that I have, but it's very I'm very appreciative of being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And if you do watch that comparison video, just drop a comment on it. Let me know that you watched or any of the videos that you watched. Just keep in touch.
All right. And before I head out, I really enjoy your content. And
thank you.
Keep up the good work, man.
Thanks so much. I'm trying to put out more and more content. The biggest thing you can do if you want to support is on Monday, I'm going to go live. I'm dropping a new video and I'm dropping a track. If you do one of those things, watch the new video, tune into the live, or listen to the new track on your favorite streaming service, that would mean the world to me. If you could do all three of those, you're amazing. I could never repay you.
Absolutely. I don't mind at all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Hopefully I'll see you on Monday.
All right. See you later.
Peace out. It's a great night tonight, folks. We're going a little long. Please, I did mention the stuff that's going down on Monday. That's for me. But also just check out 343labs.com because a lot of folks are trying to learn different things about music technology. It's kind of what I just explained. It's hard to learn technology and software at the same time as musical concepts, music theory, chords, all that stuff. And at 343 Labs, you have instructors that are proficient in all those things and specific courses for the things you need to learn, whether it's you're a beginner Ableton user, intermediate, expert. Same thing with Logic, beginner, intermediate, expert. There's a whole suite of courses for you, as well as mixing and mastering. If that's what you want to do, somebody asked a mastering tip, take the course. Abe Duque, one of the greatest, and his mixing class has been super transformative for a lot of students. Sound design with John Selway, synthesis and sound design. Louis Beck has a lot of courses related to vocal production, and then we have some music theory stuff and songwriting as well. 343labs.com. It would mean the world to me if you would just go to that website and just look at the courses and think about it, because there's a huge sale happening right now, and you can save a lot of money. There's installment plans, payment plans, and you will have a transformative experience. Every student that goes there, for the most part, pretty much does. Rohan, I'm so glad you made it back. All right, folks, the lines are closed. If you call in, I have Juanes and KB in here. I'm going to take their calls, but other than that, if you call in after them, unfortunately I have to cut it off. We're going a little long today. But Rohan, you made it back. Your phone died, but you made it.
Yeah, hi. How you doing?
Hi, welcome to the show. Where are you calling in from?
UK.
The UK. How are things over there? You staying safe?
Yeah, settling down now. Yeah, it's getting better. How about you?
Great. Things are getting a little weird here in California, but I mostly stay home anyway. I work from home, so I'm able to stay safe and quarantined.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, I've got a quick question about microphones actually.
Let's try it.
So I've got a budget of £200 or $250 roughly.
Nice.
And just trying to get a microphone just to do everything really. What do you recommend?
So I'm gonna do a quick Amazon search. I am a big fan of the brand Blue. I'm assuming you already have a audio interface.
Yeah.
All right, so you got that. You can do phantom power and all that. In terms of $250, so Blue obviously has a lot of USB microphones, but that's not what I want to look at. I want to look at something like, all right, so the condenser microphone that I have is the Blue Bird, and that's like a $300 mic, so it's just a little bit out of your price range. But they also have a microphone called the Blue Spark, which is, I've used it on projects before, and the reason for that is, in this budget range, you are getting a lot of utilitarian mics, meaning that you can use it for a lot of things, because it doesn't really specialize in one thing. It just kind of does all things kind of good. But sure. I'm a big fan of the Blue microphones, the Blue Spark. Is it really called the Spark? In particular, I think is a good one. I'm looking at it right now on Amazon in the US here, and it's $219, so that fits right into your budget. And that was a kit with a shock mount, which you will definitely want. You'll definitely want to have a shock mount. And if you have, where is it? Sorry, I'm just looking for a thing. I have this really amazing foam cover for my microphone. It's here. So I'm using a shotgun mic right now, which is really good for like voiceovers and stuff, but I probably wouldn't use it to record, vocals or instruments. But this right here, this actually fits right over my microphones, including like my Blue Bird, which is almost the same size as the Blue Spark. So if you wanted to spend a little bit extra money, this is the Alctron PF8. There's a lot of really expensive sound isolators that look just like this that are way overpriced. This one is just fine. It was a cheaper model. And because Blue microphones and, condenser microphones higher end in general are pretty sensitive. So I was having issues with room noise or just like anything in the room, like getting picked up. With one of these, it totally blocks out the sound. It's got a pop filter built right in. The microphone fits right in there. And it does an okay job at isolating. Like, it's not like a vocal booth. It's not a whisper room. But for an at-home use, I've seen a lot of success with this little foam thing here.
Yeah, I'll give it a look.
Yeah, just check it out. Is that it?
great. That's great. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you so much for calling in. Have a good one. Let me know what you end up deciding. Leave a comment somewhere, something. You know how it goes.
Sure, yeah. Stay safe.
You too. Chat, thank you so much for hanging. We got 2 more calls to take, and then we're going to call it a night. Probably wrap up in the next 10 to 20-ish minutes. Thank you so much for hanging. I see lots of folks hanging here. If you enjoyed this live stream, let me know, because we could do more of these. TAETRO Talks is going to happen every Thursday on 343 TV. Usually we have guests, but I'm liking the way we do this call-in show. And also I usually do a live show every Monday, Mentor Monday, which will continue not this coming Monday, because we have a lot of other stuff happening on Monday, but it will continue the following Monday. So another call-in show on my channel 2 Mondays from now, another TAETRO Talks next Thursday. Let's bring in Juanes. Did I click it? Yes, I clicked it. What do you guys also think of this new overhead setup, by the way? Oh, Juanes, you have that terrible picture of the kid that got into the peanut butter. I can't look at it.
What's up, TAETRO?
Hey, how are you?
You can hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I'm hearing you. Very good.
Great. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling you from Colombia.
Amazing. Welcome. How are you doing? What is your question?
Okay, I have 2 really quick questions.
Let's do it.
The first one is, do you think that you need a MIDI controller to make music? For example, like for creative purposes? Like,
no, you do not need one. You can literally make music with your laptop's keyboard or your computer's keyboard. Home row, like especially in Ableton Live, there's a keyboard mode where you can use your actual typing keyboard as an instrument. Of course, your capabilities and what you can do a little bit more with a MIDI controller depending on what it has. But to just create some music, I can sit there with just my laptop and make a beat the same way I can do it with a MIDI controller.
Okay, and the other question was, how do you deal with creative block? I think that...
Yeah. How do I deal with creative block? I am strange. I don't think I'm strange. That's not how I want to phrase it. I think that creative block is confusing, because you have to be able to show bad ideas. I heard this advice somewhere. If you have creative blocks, that means you have 0 ideas. That means you sit at a keyboard and you can't even play a single, like just playing one note to a rhythm, that's an idea. So for anybody who has creative block, make bad stuff. Just open your DAW and make something that's not even attempting to be good. Because until you get through the bad ideas, you don't have creator's block, artist block. What is the actual word? Chat, let me know. What is the actual word I'm looking for? Creator's block. Writer's block, I guess, is the more common term. But unless you can sit there and say, I can't come up with anything, nothing, then you don't have creator's block. You need to just get the bad ideas out there. Just make something that is bad. That's how you do it. On the other side, if you are feeling like you have a block because you're feeling overwhelmed due to some barrier, whether that be your knowledge of software, of controllers, of playing, or whether that just be stuff that's going on in life, like if there's like some mental barrier there for you where you can't focus, take breaks and don't put pressure on yourself. I love video games. I love Call of Duty Warzone. I love playing that with my friends. That doesn't mean I don't love making beats. That doesn't mean I'm less of a beat maker, music producer, because I'm not spending the 2, 3, 4 hours I'm spending playing Warzone with my friends, not making music. That just means I'm taking time away. And when I step away from the video game, I feel refreshed. My mind has not been thinking about music for those 2 to 3 to 4 hours, most likely. And I feel like I have something to come back to. I feel like I miss it. I want to come back to it. And I've taken time to do something for myself. Not that beat making isn't for myself. It is, but it's a different kind of for myself. So don't put pressure on yourself. Make sure do something for yourself. Take breaks. And then also, if you want to challenge yourself, come up with bad ideas, come up with musical ideas that are not good. Make a beat that you know going into it is going to be terrible and you're not even going to save the project. Watch what happens, because I would say 8 times out of 10, you're going to be like, oh wait, this isn't actually bad. Oh wait, I do actually have ideas. I just have to sit down and do the work with no expectation. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're completely right.
I hope that works for you, my friend.
Yeah, that works perfectly good. I'm sorry,
Nice.
I have my English.
No, you're great. If a lot of that does work for you, like hit me up somewhere, comment on a video, tweet at me, whatever. Let me know if something helps or if you tried something and it kind of worked. I would love to hear it.
Okay, I'm going to do that. Okay.
All right. Have a good one, my friend.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, folks, one more call for the night. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before we take the last call, I just want to remind everybody to check out 343labs.com. The reason we're able to do a great stream like this on a Thursday night and talking to the community is because 343 Labs is a school where people take classes, and that's how we support all our great teachers who are streaming every single day. That's how we can stay afloat during this crazy time, by offering virtual classes to anybody in the world. So we have classes in person in Germany coming up, in Berlin. Our New York classes are still virtual, but that means anybody can join them. You don't have to be in New York. 343labs.com. There's a huge sale. You can save a ton of money on courses. I would love to know if people at least checked out the website. If you did and you're in the chat still, I'm going to take KB's call. While I'm taking KB's call and you're listening, go to the website, scroll through, and just let me know what you think. I don't care if you purchase a course. Just take a look at the website and just give me your honest impressions of 343labs.com after I take this call. I would love to hear it in the chat. Let me know what you think of the website. Let me know what you think of the courses. Which courses would you be most likely to take or recommend to a friend? What's stopping you from taking a course? Let me know. All those things. KB, you are the last call of the day. Let's make it a good one. No pressure. Audio is connecting. Connected. How's it going, KB?
Hi, TAETRO.
How's it going?
It's going well. How about yourself?
It's going well. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling from Georgia.
The state Georgia or?
The state Georgia.
Ah, got it. Okay. Well, welcome. How are things in Georgia? Are you staying safe?
Yes, things are all right. I think things are probably getting a little bit crazy, but I stay inside a lot, so I'm not too worried.
I am in that club as well. What's your question today?
Okay, so I just had a couple questions about MIDI controllers. I was actually looking to get a new one because so far I've been working with this old Radio Shack keyboard. It's pretty big. It's like a lightning keyboard.
Radio Shack keyboard. Tell me more.
Yeah, it's probably from like 2007. It's pretty old. It's large. It has speakers and everything.
Oh,
It can
okay.
play
One of
rhythms.
those. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And I've been working with it in GarageBand, but I think I want to try working with a smaller or portable MIDI keyboard controller, something that I can fit on my desk, because this keyboard that I've been working with for a long time is huge, and the workflow is difficult because I have to use my mouse and I have to change the sounds and
Absolutely.
I want to modulate. So
What a nightmare.
Right. And it's fun because I like to make this music. I don't know if you've heard, but I'm into making digital fusion.
Oh, tell me about that.
Okay, so the term is defined as music that combines elements from various genres like jazz, classical, prog, funk, and computer music.
Whoa.
Example gratia, classic, video game music, keyboard demos, and feature solos or other parts of the music programmed via computer software.
Nice.
So just getting into that, and I like cinematic stuff that fits a scene for like a movie or a cartoon or something animated.
Very cool. Okay, so you want to buy a new keyboard
Yes.
to do all of
and
that. Are you strictly using GarageBand or are you using a different DAW?
I am currently strictly using GarageBand.
Strictly, do you want to upgrade at any point? Because that's important. if you're
Yes.
thinking about upgrading. What are you thinking about? I don't want to say upgrading. GarageBand is kind of, a beginner's tool. So I guess upgrading is okay to say, but there's nothing wrong with using GarageBand, I guess, if that clarification was necessary.
Right. Yeah, I understand. I am pretty much a beginner. I'm kind of new to this, but I like making the sounds that I like to hear.
Yeah.
And
you
I
sound
would like
happy
to
with it.
Yes, I'm happy with it. I like working with it.
That's
And I
important.
would like to upgrade too. So I figured with one of these keyboards, I'll tell you, I've been kind of torn in between the Arturia Mini Lab Mark II, the slim 25 slim key controller, the Novation Launch Key Mini Mark III, and the Arturia
Mini Lab.
DAW controller.
Yeah.
The smaller one, I've been kind of torn in between those, and I wanted to try
the smaller
and stick within. I think it's that one. Yeah.
The Micro Lab.
Does it have? Yes, the Micro Lab. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. You're fine. This is a neat little
And-
controller.
Yes, I love that it looks so compact and small.
And the
something that I
wire,
could-
like the cord is just there. Like it
Right.
fits into it. I love it.
Right. And I was trying to stick under a budget of about $130, but I figured all the little softwares that they come with, that would be something cool for me to try.
Yeah, that totally. So what are you leaning towards? Are you more comfortable with keys? Do you prefer a pad controller? What do you think?
I'm comfortable with keys, but I did want to try something with pads and knobs, which I know the one that you're holding now, the Microlab, doesn't have that.
Doesn't have that.
So I didn't know, for me personally, I don't know if that would be too complicated for me.
Well, here's the
or-
thing. There aren't a lot of controllers made for GarageBand. So that's why I'm asking about your intentions to eventually upgrade. But I wouldn't want to the thing is, I wouldn't want to lock you into a system before you are able to, before you're able to actually make a decision. Because if you say, oh, I'm going to try Ableton Live, and then you try Ableton Live and you hate it, but I recommended the launch key to you because you said you were going to try Ableton Live, then, you kind of just invested in this and it wasn't really worth it, So maybe something like a keyboard controller, strictly a keyboard controller, like is a small enough investment. Also, the keys on this are great. They're like some of the best. Arturia's keys in general are very good. Maybe this is a better step up for you, especially since you could plug this into like iOS devices too and use it with that. And then there's GarageBand. Of course, if you are super comfortable with GarageBand, you might be more likely to upgrade to something like Logic because it follows the same. I upgraded from iMovie to Final Cut Pro, both, Mac apps. And when you do that, like it's a very sensical way to upgrade and graduate. But I can make your decision super easy for you. Give me one moment. So when I first got the Microlab, when the Microlab first dropped, I did a video with it, and I'm fortunate enough to have Arturia send me a bunch of gear. But what's actually awesome is they sent me more than one. So if you email me at taetro.music@gmail.com, I will send you this unopened Arturia Microlab. And that will make it totally easy for you. I just feel like we've had such a good stream today, and like I want to do some more stuff to help out the community, and I have stuff just sitting around. Guys, when I tell you I have gear just sitting around, you see it on the shelves, but also brands send me like multiples of things, and this has been sitting around. I've been trying to think about a way to do a giveaway with it, and I think that we've had such a great TAETRO Talks today that I would like to give this to you today. If you would accept it, if you think it's a good controller for you and your setup.
Oh, yes, that would be great. You said to email you at
taetro.music@gmail.com and just be like, hey, this is KB from the stream, and I'll set it up, I'll mail it out to you, and you have yourself a brand new MIDI controller.
Okay, that sounds great. I appreciate that.
I'm stoked that this call is the final call of the stream, and that we were actually kind of able to I was able to, like, it just makes sense. I was like, do I do a separate giveaway with this? The Microlab already came out. It doesn't make sense to do a separate video on it, but I think Arturia was a great sponsor of 343 TV. They were giving away plugins and stuff, so I think it's cool to show them some love and also spread the love and, send you a MIDI controller since you were already considering the Microlab And I think it's dope that you are you're working in GarageBand. You're super happy. You seem to really like what you do. You're working on an old Radio Shack keyboard, so time for an upgrade.
Thank you.
Can you email me right now so I can confirm that it's your email? Because imagine if somebody in the chat emailed me and said, "Hey, it's KB. Send the keyboard to the XYZ." So if you email me like right in this moment, just like 2 letters or something, like some nonsense, I'll know it's you, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay. And just let me clarify, when they type it in the header, you said it was
taetro.music@gmail.com.
Okay.
And just literally a quick email to say, "Hey, it's KB," to start the thread. That way I can confirm it's you, and we know there's no imposters. Chat, this is how we do it on TAETRO Talks. And
Thank you.
Chat and everybody watching, like if you like think that's cool, like I have a bunch of other gear too. I'm actually gearing up to do a bunch more giveaways on this channel because, you know, I'm having a good time with the content on the channel. I'm seeing the audience grow and I want to do more to give back. And I also have a ton of controllers, as you can probably see, KB, behind me, and like everybody else can see. But what nobody else can see is that they go up, like the shelves go up and there's stuff not even on the shelves. So if we can kind of spread that love, that's something we totally got to do. You just sent me an email?
Awesome. Yes, it just said or something like that.
Perfect. HSDGSVGVGJ.
Yes.
Perfect. That's the secret code. All right. I'm going to hit you up after this stream. If it's not tonight, it'll be in the morning. We'll set this up. I'll figure out how to get this out to you and ship it and all that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for answering my questions.
Totally. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you. You as well.
All right, chat. That is going to be it for TAETRO Talks today. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Let's send a congrats for KB for winning this Arturia Micro Lab. Thank you to Arturia for actually sending me an extra Micro Lab with the intentions of letting me give it away. I appreciate that. KB, hope you like orange because it's the orange one, but I think it's pretty bright and cool. I lost my YouTube chat. Oh, there you guys are. Y'all are awesome. KB, nice work. Thank you for being in the stream. Wait, KB, are you K Dog Beats in the chat? I'm so confused. No. I wonder, what is your name, KB, in the YouTube chat? Oh, well, it's not important. Vasco, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Jolie, thank you for tuning in. Darren James. Darren James says he watched 343 Labs promo vid and he thinks he'll check out the TV. Also, yeah, check out 343 TV. We're streaming every day. Abe Duque is going to be streaming tomorrow with a Bitwig show. And then he is going to be changing the content of his show. I'll let him talk about that tomorrow because I think you all will actually like the new kind of show it is. Ellie Beats. I'm glad you like Ableton Live. Thank you for tuning in. Korean Jesus. Thank you for tuning in. Maria, King of the Hill. Andrew James. I'm just going to try to roll through chat, folks. Hopefully I don't repeat. Diane Parker, Rashane, thanks for being our first caller and kicking it off today. Daniel, Raul, Darren James, Perkyman, Sculptor, Antoine, Diane, Danny, King of the Hill again, Quiet Star Music, Juanes, Perkyman. I don't know if I'm repeating people. Am I repeating people, chat? Keguz, Abdal, thank you for tuning in. Samuel, appreciate you all. Nishark is here. Danny. The chat is too long, folks. Benj Exotics. I'm glad you're ordering yourself a launch key. Juanes, thank you for tuning in. Judy Caldwell. Sculptor. Abe Duque was hanging out in the 343 chat, as well as Lonely Kid. Appreciate you all. Chroma Beats. Hope you stuck around. Paul. Sorry if I missed you all. Sammy Gamer, I know you were the first one here, so I'm not sure if you made it to the end. Heiko. Thank you all for being here. That's going to be it for TAETRO Talks today, folks. All the courses at 343 Labs are on sale, and that is how we are able to do cool stuff like 343 TV, bring you streams every day on 343 TV at 1 p.m. EST, youtube.com/343 Labs. Take a course. The courses are on sale. There's payment plans. Hope you all enjoyed this stream. Folks, if you enjoy the stream, 82% of my viewers, somewhere between 80 and 82% of my viewers are not subscribed. So 82% of all the views I get on my channel are people that are not subscribed. So please take a minute. If you are not subscribed, click the subscribe button. And if you are, and you have a friend who is a music producer or a beat maker, or you know somebody, tell them to go subscribe. I would just really appreciate it. Show up on Monday. Monday, I'm dropping a new video. We're going to go live. And I have a new track coming out on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that. You can pre-save it now if you go to my Instagram story and swipe up. Thank you all. Tweet at me if you enjoyed the stream. Hit me up on Instagram. Tag me in your story if you enjoyed the stream. All that. Thank you all so much. This has been TAETRO. Where's my end screen? This has been TAETRO. Have a good one.